Hai, welcome to Kremés podcast.
Podcast yang paling receh and garing, but maybe informative too, depending on the day.
I'm T,
And I'm A,
semoga podcast ini bisa nemenin lo.
and hope you enjoy the episode. Halo semuanya, welcome back to another Kremés podcast.
Yo, hello. We are back for another
We are
week
back.
of
Yes.
crunchy stuff. Woo!
That's true. But at the moment, it's not gonna be a light topic this time, A.
Oh no, it's big oof. Big oof.
A big oof moment.
Big feels.
Exactly. Tapi seperti yang kita ngomongin waktu di Q&A part 3 kita tentang apa yang kita mau mungkin obrolin untuk kedepannya dan goal-goal yang kita mau capai dengan podcast ini, salah satunya adalah untuk talk more about well-being, wellness, mental health, whichever you wanna call it, but just about your emotional healthiness. Jadi mungkin kita sebagai orang Asia atau sebagai orang Indo atau I think the world in general, even though it is getting better, kita mungkin ngerasa kayak ini hal yang aduh kenapa sih harus diomongin gitu, atau sesuatu yang kayak aduh ini bakal ngeliat kita sebagai orang yang lemah, atau ini bakal bikin kita kelihatan sebagai orang yang I don't know, like gak have it in control atau gimana gitu. Tapi menurut gue pribadi sih tahun 2020 kemarin gue udah ngerasa banget betapa pentingnya mental healthness, betapa pentingnya untuk sehat dalam diri kita sendiri sebelum kita gak cuma sehat jasmani tapi juga sehat spiritually, like your emotional stuff need to be also healthy. Dan one of the biggest thing that I have was just overthinking things and just emotional stuff, like my feelings. Kan kalau misalnya kita kemarin ngomongin tentang bahas tentang personality trait, I'm an ENFJ, which is feelings is more than intuitive. So I go things through feelings. Kayak should I do it, should I do not do it, it's all based on my feelings gitu. Perasaan gue tuh ya kalau misalnya orang Indo ngomongnya mungkin terlalu baper orangnya gitu. Tapi menurut gue it's okay, it's me, that's who I am. Tapi kita punya cara dan kita punya kita mungkin punya tips and tricks untuk bisa ngebantu diri kita sendiri. Dan itu yang lagi gue belajar sekarang sih, tentang how can I do it better and accept me for who I am. Tapi kita nggak cuma accept terus kayak ya udah kita juga nggak bisa kayak sok-sokan kayak lu mau apa, gue emang orangnya kayak gini, gue nggak bisa berubah, nggak bisa gitu juga gitu. Kita juga harus ngambil control dalam diri kita sendiri untuk bisa okay, itu sikap gue orangnya kayak gini, so how do I make this better? Dan untungnya I'm so grateful, gue di kerjaan baru gue ini ada sedikit coaching session gitu. Jadi salah satu coaching session yang gue kerjain itu gue nanya sama orang itu, kayak gue misalnya kayak hello coach, what do you think about overthinking gitu. Terus dia nanya overthinking kamu tuh gimana. Gue ceritakan gue yang kayak overthinking gue tuh I always ask what if gitu loh. Dan emang kayak pikiran gue langsung ke worst case scenario, tapi juga langsung kayak what if he doesn't like it, what if she said this, what if. Dan itu tuh it's so crazy gitu lah. Kayak like, sometimes I could be kayak orang lain semua biasa-biasa aja, terus kitanya yang takut sendiri gitu loh. Kita yang takut sendiri about what gonna happen gitu. Contoh misalnya sekarang aja gue misalnya nanti kan ada end of year meeting sama manajer gue gitu. Like there's so many what ifs, padahal rotasi ini aja belum beres gitu. Tapi gue udah mikirin kayak rotasi nanti ke depannya gue gimana ya, gue bakal dapet temen gak ya, gue bakal dapet site yang gue mau gak ya, those things gitu. Terus jadi dari situ aja the coach already listened, and he was like saying that like it looks like all your what ifs is like time related stuff. Ya kayak misalnya kayak kan kalau misalnya untuk yang tadi tuh rotasi temen apa itu kan lebih ke future ya, kayak misalnya apa yang gue lihat ke depan tuh kayak apa yang bakal terjadi gitu, kayak gue pasti nanya-nanya terus gitu. Dan untuk dia tuh dia mikir dia ngomong gini dia nanya sama gue, dia kan kita kan pakai telepon ya, soalnya kita masih COVID time, so we cannot meet each other in real life, kita masih pakai telepon. Terus dia cerita gitu, dia kayak gini, coba tolong kamu gambar line cenah, Sunda gue keluar ya gambar line, terus tulis past, present sama future. Terus dia nulis Dia nanya, okay, first thing first, can you control the future? Terus aku bilang, no, I can't control the future. Kita nggak tahu apa yang bakal terjadi. Banyak juga hal-hal di dunia ini atau di dalam kehidupan kita yang basically out of other people punya decision gitu kan, bukan dari kita yang kita mau ini gitu, tapi misalnya kita ditempatkan kerja di sini atau misalnya kita disuruh pergi ke tempat ini untuk belajar segala macam, it was not our decision, so we can't control the future. But also he asked me, can you change the past? And I was like, no, I can't. So all the what ifs of what people think of me, of what already happened, kayak misalnya, oh ada perseteruan atau ada fight between me and these other friends, that and I was wondering like, oh, what do they think of me and stuff like that. But it's already happened. Like it happened in the past. Like there's nothing I can change. So after that, I said no. He was like, yes. So what can you change and what can you control? I can only change and control the present. I can only change and control today. And that's when he said that, like, not gonna lie, he said he doesn't like the terms overthinking. Because it's not necessarily overthinking, it's impractical thinking. Why? Because you are thinking in the past and future where you cannot change or control. So it's not over, you're not thinking more, it's impractical. You can go on and on about it for the longest time, but you can't change anything. Like it's just impractical. So that was like what I was so surprised. I was like, bener juga ya, kayak misalnya ini bukannya gue thinking kebanyakan atau misalnya orang mikir kayak lu lebay gini-gini, bukan, it's just not practical gitu, nggak ada efisiensinya untuk gue mikirin tentang hal-hal itu gitu. Dan yang sesuatu yang gue bisa ubah itu ya cuman sekarang dan now, and that's the only thing I can control and change. And everyone always said that, yeah, the best time to change was yesterday, but the second best time to change is now. Like today is the day that you can actually change things up. And mungkin ini juga related ke semua yang mungkin ini juga the reason gitu, kayak kenapa mindset gue di dalam tahun 2021 ini tuh lebih ke oh ya udah gitu, take one thing at a time gitu, karena udah nggak bisa gue ubah lagi kan. Kalau misalnya kayak gue ngomong kemarin, soda gue udah beleber kemana-mana, udah tumpah kemana-mana, there's nothing I can change gitu loh. Itu aja gitu, itu aja yang gue punya gitu. Jadi yang gue bisa lakuin sekarang cuma ngelap the mess and just continue on with my day and enjoy what I have left, ya nggak? Dan I think that was so crazy for me. That was like kayak mind blowing aja gitu loh. Sekarang kayak situasi sekarang, walaupun gue masih worry tentang rotasi gue ke depan, tapi gue mikir kayak okay, daripada gue worry tentang ke depan, gimana kalau misalnya gue enjoy my time now gitu. Sekarang gue di sini cuma bisa sampai Februari, I should enjoy this gitu loh. I should enjoy the life that I have now gitu, especially knowing that you might be coming here soon in the office. Okay, we should enjoy that time. We should enjoy the moment that we're gonna actually spend time together in the same office gitu. Dan I think that was like, it was such a mind-blowing thing. Like I don't know, this is like, I'm telling you right now, I'm still, every time I read it, every time I share it to someone else, I'm still taking that time back and just be like, oof, that is true. And I feel so called out, but at the same time I feel so comfortable. Kayak ya gue lagi di call out banget, lagi dikasih tahu kalau misalnya my thinking is wrong, tapi at the same time I feel like it's comforting to know that it's not this big thing orang bilang lebay atau overthinking. It's just not practical. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I think it's like when you first shared this idea with me as like a potential episode, I was like, oh, this gonna be heavy. But at the same time, it's like one of those topics that is, I'm sure a lot of people or even everyone has experienced in different ways. Like it might not be in a workspace, but it might be in like a relationship with someone. It might be about their life in general, or like they're having some sort of like, life crisis about like overthinking about their present and their future career, or, and like expectations about what their career should be. And like, there's just so many things in a human being's life that people can tend to overthink. And sometimes overthinking may be good, but in my opinion, most times overthinking is a bit more negative because it leads to unnecessary worry, stress, mendadak langsung kayak kepikirannya lebih negatif lah gitu menurut gue, because you start to sort of dwell on all these what ifs that just causes worry and causes like all these like lu mendadak pikirin all these scenarios that could happen, and that may help, but most times in my experience, knowing that I do this myself and I have friends who share this with me, most of those scenario based thinking leads to just lebih banyak kecemasan gitu, or like just more worry. So it's like, on one hand, it is obviously good to pre-plan, like especially when it comes to future thinking. That's good. Like, if you got like a 5-year career plan, a 10-year career plan, that's great, good for you. But don't dwell on it too much, especially when it comes to dwelling on uncertainties, right? Because it's like you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Yes, have a general goal, right? But you shouldn't have like a really, really super detailed step-by-step plan of how you're going to achieve that goal. Because what if you don't achieve those step-by-steps, but you do achieve the goal in the end, just in a different way, Like, you have to be aware of being flexible, of being willing to adapt and change when the circumstances change. For example, tahun ini 2020, like heck, like at the beginning of 2020, I don't think a lot of us would have expected that COVID would have spread all over the world, right? And let alone it would affect the way we work, the way we meet people, and even the whole concept of leaving the house was like dilarang, and it was just completely changed. Like the tables completely turned. So it's like, I'm sure for a lot of people who are a bit more extroverted, they probably didn't cope with lockdown very well. And thus they started overthinking about it and had different scenarios, and maybe that's not good for their mental health. And it just causes them to spiral to, mungkin depression atau mungkin, other emotions that is not healthy, because it's just bubbling up all this negative energy in their being. So I think it's really good for us to talk about it, though, because I feel that it's one of those subjects that not a lot of people open up about, but it is something that I think a lot of us do. And in my case, when it comes to overthinking, it's always when it's like, kalau gue kecil sih, kalau gue masih anak kecil, it's always when kalau gue ditegur sama guru. Because, like, obviously maybe it's just also the Asian mindset. Like, when I grew up in Indo, because I also went to school in Singapore for a bit, okay, the concept of pleasing your teachers was like the number one goal for me. I was like, kalau gue ke sekolah, I'm just going to study hard and I'll just please my teacher, because the last thing I want is to be told off by my teacher. Because usually guru gue, kalau gue di negeri Asia, lumayan galak. So when they tegurin gue, it's quite like intense. And for me, I guess it was a bit traumatic as well at that time. So I would do anything in my power to make sure I was a good girl, that I was studying hard, and then I would start overthinking about what if I don't want to do this, or I don't want to I don't want to speak up because I'm worried that my teacher will tell me off, or I'm worried that my teacher will put me on the spot and embarrass me in front of all my classmates. And it's just all this cringy and negative emotions just start to coop, just being stuffed in my little body at that time. And I don't think that was a really great environment. But it's always I think it also just starts growing up. Like, it grew up with me as I grew up physically as well. It's like, at work now, kalau gue dikasih feedback yang lebih ke konstruktif, it's a bit more on here's where you can improve. I think you could do better here, gitu. I still feel really not I mean, obviously I do take it as a good opportunity. I'll take the feedback and I thank them for it. But I start overthinking because I'm so if he doesn't like the way I did it then, how about the way I did it before? What do I do now? What's my, how am I going to approach him next time? Because that was a bit of, maybe the feedback was a bit awkward, or he said it to me in a bit of an awkward way, or I would maybe, especially now, zaman COVID, banyakan kan kita kan harus baca email atau kayak kita nggak bisa having those in-person conversations kan. Jadi susah untuk baca emosinya kan. And sometimes it's oh, is he being passive aggressive, or is he being sarcastic? Is he being negative? Is he being like, oh, I don't know what's happening gitu kan. And you start worrying about like, oh, like, does he actually think my work is good, or like is he just like not really like appreciating my work, or he's just trying to like downplay me at apa begitu. And I would just start like thinking about all these different things, and it actually distracts me from my actual job. Like, I'm supposed to just take the feedback, run with it, and continue with my work. And I have deadlines to meet and I have to focus. But all that overthinking about like what has happened in the past is still creeping up on me, that it's affecting my focus on what I have to do now, you know? And it's like a domino effect. It's like it's affecting my mood, it's affecting my focus, it translates to the quality of work that I produce now. And maybe in the future I'm gonna continue getting not so great feedback. And it's just gonna make me worry even more, gitu kan? So it's like I find that while it's good to obviously have reflection, it's not like make sure you do it in like you do it, I guess, like in a controlled way, so that like know when you're starting to dwell on negativity, or know when you're starting to overreact or overthink it when it's not necessary to do so, so that you can check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's how I kind of see it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think also like what I found, okay, this is the part of me that it's a bit weird, right? So like at one end I do have that technical brain that just think about maths, think about it, and problem solving kind of situation. But I'm heavily like emotional driven. Like I'm just feeling it. I'm like I know exactly how you feel. So mine one was something stupid tea. It was morning tea, and what I usually do, I open the boxes and put it in a platter, kind of thing. And they were all like so happy. They were like, oh, hey, you're so good, we never thought we could do that, can you please teach us, and stuff like that. And then I thought I was so good at it. I was like, this is what I need to do every time, like morning tea is my goal. Like I got this undercover kind of situation. But then there was one day I was not feeling well, and then I was helping out with morning tea, and I was like, hey, this is a good thing. I'm doing something what I love, something what I can do. I'm acing this. But then this lady told me that, oh, don't open the boxes. It will make the food cold. And I was like, oh no, like have the food been cold this whole time? You know what I mean? Like it just kind of unravels for me. Like, oh, so the thing that I was so good at, was it a bad thing for other people? But then what my friend told me is to, similar to what you say, is to step out of it and like bring back the control, bring back the, all these crazy thoughts, just bring back into yourself. So you just kind of stand there and you're like, okay, first thing first, you did your best, that's done. So if you haven't done your best, then okay, maybe we can work on that, right? Actually, not gonna lie, when you haven't done your best, that's actually the easiest to take care of what ifs, because you haven't done your best, you can improve it the next time. But the problem is when you have done your best, that's when the overthinking starts, you know what I mean? So yeah, the first thing was like, have you done your best? Yes, I have. Second thing, who's owning the event or the thing? So for me, in this case, the lady is the owner of the event, right? And then the third thing, I was like, okay, if she is the owner, you just follow the owner. You follow what they told you to do. And it has nothing to do with you. It's just people like to do things in a certain way. So that's when I was like, oh, true. Yeah, that's true. Like it's not my thing. It's not my event. It's nothing mine. I'm just helping. Therefore, I just follow what they want to say. And then she gave me the responsibility. She gave me, this is your responsibility. You take ownership of it. That's when I do it my own way. And that happens in all the things. It happens in work. It happens in friendship. It happens in, all the other things. And I think we tend to want to help and take care of everything, but it costs us in the end. So for me, even like if someone else have like make the Secret Santa event, and I'm here like, no, I want to help. And I'm like, have you booked the place yet? Have you do this? Have you done that? It's actually not my, like, there's not necessary for me to overthink about have they book it or not. I just need to attend. All I need to worry about is getting there on time, right? And all I need to worry about is getting there on time, have my present, that's it. in terms of like booking the places and stuff like that, that's up to the organizer to do it. And it's not, at the same time, it's not my place to do it anyway. And that have helped me so much, like this past time of thinking, not apart from thinking about the present, about thinking the now, also thinking about like who is the owner of this whole thing, like, and that could apply to anything, like, yeah, like any event, any emails, any workload. If it's not your fault, or if it's not your thing, if it's not the owner, is not you, it shouldn't be bothering you that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so true. I think it's like, just know that in most cases, in most situations, you're like, I mean, without sounding too like offensive, you're not the center of the situation. If that makes sense. It's like, in most cases, when you are overthinking or overreacting, the situation is actually bigger than yourself. You are not the center of the universe. Like, to put bluntly, you are not the center of the universe in the situation, and it's most certainly, highly likely, not a do or die situation, Like, you are not going to get fired, you're not going to die by this mistake or by this incident, right? And the whole concept of overthinking and overreacting just blows the situation into huge proportions, that when it's actually just like no big deal. But obviously, because it's us who is facing it directly,
We will not be able to see it.
yeah, exactly. Like, we make it seem like, oh, like, like it's such a big deal, when like sometimes it helps to have a friend to share it with and be your soundboard, but make sure that that friend is removed from the situation, and be like, hey, like, nah, like, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's fine. Gitu kan? Because they give you perspective.
I think, no, definitely. I was about to exactly say that. Like, I think for me personally, I have a friend in the office who I spill tea to every single time. So he would spill tea to me and I would spill tea to him. So when things go wrong in a meeting and stuff like that, I go to him and like, hey, I need to spill tea. This is not working. And I just literally tell him the chronological order of everything that happened and then wait for him to answer it. And if he was like, hey, it's not a big deal, then it's not a big deal. But if he was like, actually, that is wrong on their side, then like, at least and you can clear that out. But having that third person, if you're not being able to do it yourself, is definitely a good thing. But also at the same time, I think like I do have to say that you are justified to whatever you're feeling. So here, this is ini kita lagi mau ngebantu kalian yang mungkin sama kayak kita yang suka overthinking, atau mungkin kalau jujur aja sih buat gue ya gue sih udah gue capek overthinking, gue capek untuk having too many things on my plate, dan gue capek untuk kayak capek juga mikirin hal-hal kayak gini, jadi sedih gara-gara hal ini, panik gara-gara hal ini, literally cry over these things. I'm tired of it. Jadi ini kita kasih tips and tricks karena kita berdua juga lagi mencoba untuk menerapkan ini dalam day-to-day stuff, dan hopefully we can do better this year. Karena ini kita bukan untuk kayak nyudutin satu orang atau gimana, ini kita ngerasain sendiri, gengs. Kita juga ngerasain hal yang sama apa yang kita omongin gitu, dan ini yang kita lagi try to implement for ourselves gitu. Dan kayak ini literally checkpoint yang kita ambil sendiri untuk setiap kali kita ngerasain overthinking. We would tell ourselves like, hey, is this your thing, is this not thing, gitu. Kayak literally ini yang beneran murni kita sharing aja gitu, karena kita juga pengen ya, semoga kalau misalnya ini bisa ngebantu orang lain juga, as much as it has helped us, ya that will be good. Tapi juga ya sama yang kayak gue pengen bilang, like we're justified to feel what we feel. Kayak kalau misalnya kalian ngerasa it's not okay, atau kalian merasa kalian sedih, atau kalian merasa kalian marah, it's okay to feel that way, because in a sense like if it affect you that much, that means it's actually important gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya kalian nggak bisa selalu kayak ngebandingin kayak apa sih, misalnya teman kalian ngomong, apa sih lu first world problem banget sih, masa kayak gini aja lu nangis, atau kayak gini aja lu sedih, atau kayak gini aja lu nggak bisa terima. They cannot say that because they don't feel what you feel. I feel like it is still justified for you to feel, and it's still important for you to feel that way. But it's up to you to know if this is a real feelings or if this is you overthinking it. Jadi kayak menurut gue sendiri, misalnya kayak gue di joke tentang tentang kerjaan gue lah, misalnya kayak lu kerjaannya ngapain sih, lu nggak ngapa-ngapain juga gitu. Itu tuh kayak maybe they say like it's the worst thing an engineer could do gitu. But I obviously was angry at it. But then I have to think about it and say that like, hey, why am I angry because of this? Am I angry because it's offensive? Or am I angry because I'm just overthinking it? I'm like, oh, like this person is trying to like lower me down, blah, 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 gitu loh. At the end of the day, I know that even that comment is offensive. Doesn't matter kalau misalnya kalian nge-joke sama orang, tapi kalau kalian bilang kerjaan lu gak ada apa-apanya, atau kalian menjatuhkan orang lain itu, that is just offensive gitu loh. Doesn't matter kalau misalnya joke itu dikasih ke gua atau dikasih ke orang lain, it's still offensive. That means it's justifiable. Like it means I can feel what I feel because that was offensive. Like that's not me overthinking, that's not me overreacting. Kayak orang mungkin kayak, gila lu masa gitu aja pundung, overreact lebay gitu. No, it's not, because that's just offensive by nature. It's just offensive by facts. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that totally does.
You're allowed to feel what you feel.
Exactly. I think that's a really good takeaway. You're allowed to feel those things. I think it's like the biggest one is, I think, like some people might start scolding themselves too soon. They're like, oh no, you shouldn't be feeling those things. Like, pendemin perasaan itu atau matikan perasaan itu kan. And they just have to like hide it and go about their day and try to be like pretty much like a robot. Like, no, like you're not perfect. And we have the right to go through our own ups and downs and embrace the downs, but like obviously acknowledge the downsides, like and your down moments, but go like have an effective road to recovery. Don't get stuck in the rut and don't get stuck on the down part for too long. Make sure you know when to get back up so that, it's like always like the analogy, right? Like once you've hit rock bottom, the only way is up, right? But make sure you've acknowledged that, yes, gue lagi nggak terlalu, positif hari ini, atau gue berasa not myself hari ini gitu kan. Tapi at least you've acknowledged it. Have a moment, have a cry or have a rant, have a breakdown gitu. Do what you need to let out all that energy, but start on that road of recovery to get back on track. Yeah.
This is really, really good because it leads on to the next thing that I was that I got told of about as well, is that there's this method called ETC, like emotion, trigger, and choice. So kayak apa yang kita ngomongin sekarang, kayak misalnya yang kayak tadi lah, ada orang ngejoke tentang kerjaan kalian dan kalian kayak ngerasa, oh kok ngapain lo ngejoke tentang kerjaan gue gitu, kayak apaan sih gitu. Yang kita rasain tuh kan kayak anger and annoyed and frustrated, right? So this is the coach telling me that their emotion has purpose, like there's a reason behind your emotion. Jadi kita punya emotion banyak banget dan semua itu tuh ada purpose-nya. Misalnya kayak anger, your body is telling you to change or drop something. Kayak your body is just don't liking it, not vibing with it at the moment. You just telling you to change something about it. But if you feel guilt, then your body is telling you that you're dragging something from the past. Karena kayak guilt is from a mistake that happened before. It happens from the past that you still carry with you. Or fear is like alerting us of danger, and like shame is asking us to change our behavior because it is not aligned with our integrity. That was like, whoa, I was like, true, bener, kayak if you feeling shame karena kalian ngelakuin sesuatu yang sebenarnya nggak sama dengan moral kalian atau dengan value kalian gitu. And there are so many other things, like joy will be like things that your body is telling you that you are appreciative of this, you like this kind of thing, you're happy with this kind of thing. And so coming back again to the method, emotion, trigger, and choice, he asked me, he was like, okay, so you feel anger and annoyed. So what was the trigger? Like, why did you feel that? What part of the joke? Was it the tone? Was it the topic? Was it the person? Like, there are so many different factors of the trigger, right? So for me, it was the job, because I feel like I've worked so hard for this job. I don't like it when someone said that I'm not doing anything, because like, dude, I studied 5 years for this. I work hard to get to where I am. So how could you diminish my hard work just by saying that one comment? So it was the job. So after that, you can ask yourself, so are you not doing anything? And I'm like, no, I am doing stuff. Like, clearly I'm doing stuff. If not, why am I in the office for 8 hours, right? Are your job not good? No, my job is good and I'm happy about it. And are you doing the job like you said? I'm like, yeah, I am. So, I'm actually doing the work like my company asked me to do. And from then you can make the choice. Like for me, it was like, okay, so what do you want to do about it? And I'm like, okay, cool. I just want to let go, because everything that she said was not, like, it was not right. Every answer was no, 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 right? So why should I bother reacting to it? And I was just like, wow, that is crazy. That is like, that is I don't know. I just feel like having that moment to just regroup again and just kind of ask yourself the emotion and the trigger and the choice that you have, and that could be anything. That could be like, for example, someone asks you to, I don't know, go to a club or something that you don't want to go, and then what is it that you're feeling? Do you feel fear? Maybe you feel fear because your body is telling you there might be danger in the club. Like, I'm not saying that the club is dangerous, but like, like you just need to be more careful because people are drunk, they might not be in the right mindset and stuff like that. Or maybe it could be it doesn't align with your value, it doesn't align with your moral, that's why you don't feel like it. But it's not necessarily you're overreacting. It's not like, oh, kenapa kamu kok nggak mau sih, kan semua anak muda sekarang mainannya gini-gini. No, you're not overreacting. It's just your feeling is telling you what you feel and what really is in your heart anyway. You can easily just say, oh, am I not cool for not going? No. Am I not cool for not following with the other people? No. Then, you just have to be like, hey, sorry guys, it's just not aligned with my moral. I just don't feel like it, and I'm just scared because I feel like it's dangerous. That's it. And they shouldn't be able to say anything bad about it, because you have gone through the process and you know that you are not overthinking. It's just who you are and that's what you want to do. And that's why I said, like, you're justified to feel that way. It's okay to not follow the crowd. Like, it is definitely okay. I don't know how to explain it any better. Hopefully that helps.
Oh, for sure. Like, menurut gua sih, like, for you to know apakah, like, if your friends are true friends, or if your friends are friends worthy for your time and your attention, is they should respect you for these things, Like, of course, you bond as friends by doing things together, but everyone's different, right? So everyone has different interests, different beliefs, different preferences, and it's just a matter of working things out together. Whether it be your friends or your spouse or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your relationships, your partners, gitu kan. Kayak everyone is different and you just have to respect it and you just have to find ways to work around it, gitu. So, and it's funny because like at the beginning of this episode, lu bilang kan lu apa ENFJ. I literally did a 16 personalities test during this recording, and I too am an ENFJ. Look at that!
Yay!
Yeah, so both of us are very feelings based, and I guess we're also very intuitive, which is why I think this whole overthinking thing is I guess kind of taking over our lives.
Yeah. Because you can sense when other people are not feeling well.
Also, apparently, well, the first letter in ENFJ is E, which means we're extroverted. I mean, you're extroverted, but I don't know. I have thoughts I have thoughts about that, because I think that I'm, I guess, an extroverted introvert, because I feel that to the core I'm more of like a sort of, I prefer to be introverted in a sense. But to your point of this, I just wanted to also give an example of I guess a more funnier and a more like a more funnier anecdote of overthinking that led to sort of like a slightly less, I guess, negative thing, but still always just interesting. So I shared this with A already before. Nah, guys, I have I guess still have. I have a crush on a certain person.
Here we go.
Okay, I have a crush on a certain person, and like sort of seen them at work and that kind of thing, and it was just kind of like, oh, they're cute, and it's like okay, tapi kayak kita pernah sih ngobrol, tapi kayak nggak pernah beneran ngobrol, as in like kita nggak pernah ngopian bersama gitu to have like a decent conversation. We just have like flying conversations, like water cooler conversations gitu, karena kita pernah pas-pasan kerja in the same client kan. So kita kayak he's slid into my DMs, tapi kayak cuman untuk kayak just very casual, like cuman bertemanan lah gitu. Tapi kayak me being the weirdo I am, just started like feeling things again. But we started chatting over Instagram when I was in the US, and then we kind of just talked about like really, really casual stuff. And then I was just like, okay, like cool, like when I'm back di Aussie, like kita catch up aja gitu kan. And he was like, oh yeah, sure, anytime. But it's like, it's just so weird because like I don't work with him anymore, and like we're not close, like we haven't established a close enough like mutual relationship that like I don't feel comfortable in just calling out of the blue, hey, let's catch up, gitu, like, because I'm not, like, we haven't set enough history, in my opinion. Anyways, overthinking about everything, obviously, as you do when you have a crash with someone. It's like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, what do I say? How do I respond? How do I reply? Blah, 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 blah. Like, we'll think I'm cool if I respond too much. We'll think I'm not cool if I respond too much, or whatever, respond too less. Do I respond quickly? Do I respond later? Anyway, so much overthinking. But there is, like, for those yang dengar yang yang gak di Aussie, kita ada supermarket besar namanya Kohl's. So I was just doing my regular weekly grocery shopping at a Kohl's, and I was about to, kayak gue kan ada gerobak yang gede, karena hari itu gue shoppingnya banyak deh pokoknya gitu kan. Jadi gue ada gerobak yang gede.
Keranjang.
Sorry, yes. What did I say? Gerobak. Keranjang, yes. No, it was a trolley though. Isn't a trolley gerobak?
No, I think gerobak is a gerobak baso gitu loh.
Anyways, guys, let me know if I said the wrong thing, but you get me. A trolley.
Yeah, what is trolley in Indonesian?
A big trolley, not even like a keranjang. It wasn't a basket, it was like a trolley. Anyway, I had a shopping trolley, and I was about to just like casually go into like one of the aisles, right? And then like I saw this person, and I was like, oh.
Kereta dorong.
Kereta, okay. So I had my kereta dorong. And then I saw them like but they haven't seen me yet, so I was like, oh no, like what do I do? Like split second decision making. I was so much overthinking it because like gue like did not think in a million years I would see this person at this grocery store. And like, oh, did I like am I ready to talk to them? Am I ready to like say hi and like just have a conversation? Like, do I look decent? Do I look like a hobo? And I was just overthinking so much that I panicked. And had I stuck to my original path, we would have walked into the same aisle and like probably talked, which was like, on one hand, there's a part of me that was like, ooh, like I do want to talk to this person. But on this other side, I was like, no, I'm scared. I do not want to talk to this person. So stupid me, what I did was I turned to the aisle before, the aisle that I was going to go into, and I ran with my kereta. I ran all the way to the other side of the aisle like a crazy person. I kid you not. And I had so much barang, kayak trolley gue udah kayak full. Ada buah, kayak ada sayur, ada botol sampo, ada kayak pokoknya semua barang gitu. Tapi kan karena gue lari sampai barang gue udah kayak almost mau jatuh, mau keluar dari trolleynya gitu. And then it's like, obviously it was like a super crowded day. I was shopping on a weekend. So I literally ran without thinking of my dignity, without like thinking, oh, I'm probably gonna not embarrass myself. And then sampai kayak all these people were just staring at me. It's like, why is this weirdo running? Anyways, ran to the other side of the aisle because I was kind of scared to see this person.
Now that is overreacting.
Tapi gue kayak, on one hand, gue kayak, okay, phew, untung gak kelihatan gue karena like I was not ready to talk to this person. But at the same time, I felt this deep sense of regret. I was like, bodoh banget sih, kenapa lu lari? Anyways, so yeah, that was like a strange little moment because literally on the drive home from the grocery store, I was like, had you just become a normal human being. Like, had you just not overthought about it and just chilled and just went on with your usual activity, you could have just caught up with him, like, and said hi, and you could have just, like, maybe arranged for coffee next week. I don't know, but no, I don't know. Yeah, so that was just a quick little thing I wanted to share about about overreacting and overthinking things and leading to funny circumstances. Yeah.
No, but it is true. I mean, at the end of the day, right, overreacting, overthinking might take you away from the opportunity that you might miss. Benar juga, karena kalau misalnya kita overthink atau overreact, kita mungkin bakal kelewatan kesempatan seperti salah satu ini, ya, kesempatan mungkin ketemu doi dan ngobrol sama doi, atau kesempatan lainnya. Jadi this could happen anywhere, right? Kayak misalnya kalian lagi kerja, kalau misalnya kalian overthinking, mungkin kalian sebenarnya bisa ngelakuin hal itu dan kalian punya skill dan punya waktu dan punya tenaga untuk ngerjain project itu atau bisa nge-lead project itu. Tapi kalau misalnya kita overthinking or overreacting, it will sabotage our own self kan gitu. Jadi ya semoga episode kali ini bisa ngebantu kalian yang lagi ngedengerin, atau mungkin juga cuman untuk orang lain yang pengen tahu apa sih behind overthinking, gimana sih orang ngerasa waktu mereka overthinking. Cerita T itu tadi beneran real, and exactly that's how we feel when we're overthinking. Kita kayak mind blank aja dan langsung kayak try our best to do everything we could that is not on the list, you know, to get away from the situation. Jadi ya semoga episode ini bisa ngebantu kalian, sebuah kayak advice dikit dan mungkin sebuah push juga untuk be better. Let us do it all together this year. The year is 2021. Let's focus on ourselves. It's about time for us to take control of ourselves and try to let go of certain things that is outside of control. It's definitely easier said than done. Definitely lebih gampang untuk ngomong daripada ngelakuin, tapi kita bisa barengan ngelakuinnya. Dan who knows, maybe nanti di akhir tahun 2021 our conversation about our recap is so much different, right? Tapi juga ya buat yang teman-teman lain yang mungkin punya teman yang overreact atau overthinking, kalian juga bisa ngebantu dengan maybe kasih tahu mereka tentang metode ETC itu, atau mungkin dengan belajar untuk mengerti apa yang mereka rasain. Karena at the end of the day, like I said, it's justifiable because dalam pikiran kita it is a real thing. Like, it is exactly how it feel. Like, the fear, the anger, the craziness, it is how it feel. So we actually do feel like that. Kita nggak cuman pura-pura untuk pikiran seperti itu, atau pura-pura untuk kayak bikin cerita kayak gitu. Enggak, like we actually feel that way. And I mean, like, even with T, right? No one was there with her. Why would she do that if it was just for fake news anyway, right? Like, no one was there to see her do this and stuff like that, you know? It's exactly how she feel, and it might not be the best, but it's still, like, it is justifiable, like, if you feel that strongly about things.
Honestly, like, probably in that incident, if someone had a vlog camera or if someone recorded that moment, like, that would have been, like, the worst. But also, like, at my goofiest best as well. But anyway, yeah, you know, just take it one step at a time, guys.
Yes. And yeah, hopefully kalau misalnya kalian juga suka tentang obrolan kayak gini, let us know. We're still figuring out life. But hopefully this could help you on understanding overthinking and emotional and, you know, just feeling stuff. Thank you for listening.
Yay. See you next time, guys.
Thank you for listening.
Jangan lupa like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with your friends.
I'd love to hear from you. Please reach out with your comments, stories, and even questions on what we should talk about. See you in the next episode.
Bye. Dah.